Hello and thank you for tuning in. Today we're going to be demonstrating a very powerful trading tool, Hapna. It's a software that is comparable to Bloomberg Terminal. Think of it as a very advanced trading system. It contains lots of features to help you zero in on the most profitable trades possible. Now, from the get-go, you can see a data grid. This data grid comes with almost 50 instruments, 50 financial instruments, spanning everything from liquidity to buyer's volume to seller's volume and so on. So you have a lot of numerical data right at your fingertip that gets updated in real time. It's basically a real time feed with several perks. Now, the reason why we opt for a data grid and we didn't do the same as the other platforms, it's because scientifically it is proven that tables are much easier to comprehend and they tend to be much more straightforward when it comes to your decision making about trading a certain token or not. But we didn't remove the user's ability to eyeball charts, for example. We actually improved that by giving the user an all-in-one view, a dual pane where you are monitoring the market and at the same time you're able to do your analysis on a specific chart of a specific meme coin. So you have it all here in one place. You don't need to switch tabs. You don't need to check a token one by one, which makes you miss several opportunities out there. Now, this is all good. Yes, the numbers, the data, and so on. I know you're wondering, but what is the added value? What else do you guys have to offer? Well, the first thing that we noticed as a pain point for a lot of traders is that on the other platforms, they have to always click on a specific meme coin, go to its specific page, and then check its security details, eyeball the chart, which can be sometimes very hard to interpret because it's not raw numbers. It just a plot, basically. So what we did, the first thing is that we incorporated security as part of the filtering system. So with the Hapna software, you're able to, for example, go to the security settings. You can enable them. And you can toggle whatever safety criteria you see fit for your trading risk. So for example, I don't want to see tokens that are deemed non-sellable. So I'm going to toggle this on. I don't want to see tokens that have a flag that shows that it's suspicious. So I'm going to toggle this one here. And you have so many safety criteria here that you can play with as you see fit. Once I am happy with my safety criteria, I'm going to activate this button. Of course, if you like taking risks, I don't honestly. You can always toggle the allow risky trades. But in my case, I don't want the noise. I want to only have the most secure meme coins on my data grid. So I'm going to click save settings. And as you can see, from 100, it went down to 18, which is around 80% of meme coins are risky. Just so you know, the data grid is actually real time, which means it's always scanning the market for new meme coins. And it's a FIFO-based system. So whenever we find a new meme coin, it gets added automatically to your data grid. Now, this is all good. I think this is one of the important perks of the Hapna software. But we went beyond that. We wanted to offer the user as much granular control over the numerical data they see on their table, and we wanted to give them the right tools to enable them to zero in on profitable trades. And this will work positively for the markets actually. If we have powerful tools that mitigate the risk, there will be less scammers out there. So that's one of the advantages of opting for such software here. You're not only making profits, at the same time, you're actually pushing away the scammers because they know their tricks no longer work. So let's take a look at our filters. Now, our filtering system is super, super advanced. So think of it as a logical calculator. So you're able to add rule blocks, and within each rule blocks, you can add multiple rules. And between each rule, you can set different operators, be it and or. So it all depends on you. For example, I want to see liquidity above 20,000. And at the same time, I want to see price since discovery above 50%. Click validate. As of now, there is nothing in the market there. So let me just, for the sake of demonstrating, I don't want to tighten the screws here. I'm just going to pick a low number so you guys can see how it works. Yeah, so far it's not returning. Let me do 10,000. It's, yeah, there you go. So yeah, there's only one that meets these two filtering conditions. But that's not all. You can actually add as much rule blocks as possible, and between each rule blocks, you get to choose the operator, be it and or. Now think about the possibilities of this. You can actually make multiple strategies all at once in one filtering place. Condition strategy A, strategy B, strategy C, and so on. You can just use the OR operator for that, and the system will match and show you the results on the data grid. But that's not all. The other things or the other rule types that we have are amazing. So one of the rule types that I love is the column comparison. So here you're comparing an instrument against another instrument. For example, I only want to see meme coins that have a buy volume greater than the sell volume. And if I toggle this checkbox, a dynamic column is created. It's a special kind of column where we actually see the comparison between the two instruments. We see their difference. How much is the difference? It's a calculation basically that shows the buy volume minus the sell volume in this example case. So if I click apply changes, as you can see here, it's showing me only the meme coins that have a buy volume larger than the sell volume. And here I can see that special column that we just discussed, showing me, for example, the difference for Dino between the buyers and the sellers is almost $16,000, 3,000, and so on. And you can use this in your filters as well. For example, you can create a new rule and you can use that dynamic column that we just created. Do you see it right there? You can use it as part of your filtering rules. So we have went far and beyond to allow users to nest even those special columns in their trading strategies. So far, so good. We moving on to the ratio comparison. Now here, you get to tell the system what ratio you are looking for. I'm going to keep the same example, so I don't want to overwhelm you guys. I want the ratio between the buy volume and the sell volume to be greater than 1.3. Now the system is going to show me, of course, all the meme coins that meet this condition. Same thing here for the checkbox. It's going to create a special column that is, of course, filterable and can be used in your filters. That is also sortable, and we will talk about sorting, which is another amazing feature that we have in this system. It's going to create another column that shows the actual ratio between the buy and the sell volume. So if I click here, there you go, we can see that we have, as of now, I think 4 meme coins that meet this criteria here of 1 point, what was it? It was 1.3 as of now. And we can see the ratio here is 100, 7, 4, 2. So yeah, you can play with these numbers as you see fit in your trading strategy. One of our amazing rules that I love, and I love to use it because it enables me to remove all the stale meme coins that no longer gets updated or no longer have any kind of data. It's the time-based tracking. Now, the time-based tracking is a time series filter, enabling you to track a certain meme coin in time. So in this example here, I want to see only meme coins that have increased in value, in their liquidity value, because we chose the liquidity here. And by the way, we have a plethora of instruments that you can choose from. You're not limited to some basic kind of metrics. You can choose whatever. You have so much here that you can choose from and you can use in your strategy. And this is another advantage of the Hapna software. So I'm going to put here 30 seconds as a window. I'm going to enable the progressive mode. The progressive mode tells the system I want to only see actual increases, no dipping. You know, meme coins are very volatile. They would increase and suddenly dip. Well, we don't want to see any dipping. This is one of the strict rules that you can impose, or you can disable, of course, this, and you can work with whatever you have. You can also create a column that's going to show the actual delta per minute, the change per minute, but we don't need that. We're just demonstrating for now. We're going to get back to that later. And then we have the anti-flicker options. When you work usually with time series filters, it's super volatile. So the grace period in this example, you have, of course, other tools here, like the confirmation delays or the cooldown periods and the momentum buffer. I will explain them, of course, to you guys later. But focusing on the grace period, it's like you're telling the software, okay, once you discover a meme coin that meets my criteria, keep it on the table for 15 seconds. If it does meet my conditions again in those 15 seconds, reset that number again, and and so on. So this gives you much more time to make your decision, to make your analysis. And you will see something very cool actually with this time series based tracking. It actually, once I apply the changes, it's going to create two special columns. One is called the last signal column, which tells me when was the last time this meme coin has met my filtering criteria. It has passed them. And we have the hits. Now the hits basically tells you how many times did this meme coin meet my filtering criteria. And this is actually very, very important. And you can use them, of course, as part of your sorting. You can also filter through them. It's just amazing. I'll be frank with you. So as you can see here, we have this Bella. Dino and Bella seems to be moving a lot. There's a lot of movement, and the charts actually confirm this. The liquidity is not bad. The sentiment seems to be a strong sell, and we will discuss where is the sentiment later. But for now, let's focus on the filtering that we have. So with that being said, you have also the exclude mode. You can actually combine both, the include and the exclude mode. Think of the exclude mode as the opposite of include, where you get to filter out all the meme coins that meet your conditions in the exclude mode. It also uses the rule block system with rules, with operators as well. So yeah, it's basically the same as the include mode, but for excluding. Think of it that way. We're going to clear all of this because for the filters, I think this is much more than enough. If I think it's amazing. It gives you like a logical calculator right there to calculate all this data in front of you. Now, we have the advanced sorting. Now, the advanced sorting is a way, I think it's like thinking out of the box. Most systems, they don't offer this much, I would say, number of instruments in relation to a single meme coin. And they don't even offer sorting in so many cases. Even if they did offer sorting, they would offer basic sorting, where you're able to sort by one column once at a time. So you can't combine two columns, 100. You can't do that. Well, that's exactly what we did. We created advanced sorting to give the user the ability to sort by two columns at the same time. So if I click here, for example, the since discovery, it's selected with a 10% weight, and I will explain what is the weight exactly. And if I click on the liquidity again, 10% for the liquidity. So what the system is doing now, and you can actually choose 100 columns, 100 instruments. It's all up to you. I can go and choose the holders. I can choose the price, and you can carry on. Like it's not limited to any number of columns that you want to use in your sorting strategy. So what the system now is doing is telling the data grid that's okay. I want to see the meme coins that have, I would say, the best delta since discovery and the best liquidity. I want to see them both. And you can, of course, change the direction. This is omnidirectional. As you can see here, it switches the direction. So you can do, for example, one ascending and the other descending. And the system is geared to calculate that properly without no issues. Actually, all the data that you see here goes through a very rigorous normalization. It's the mathematical normalization. So all the values actually make sense when they are compared to each other. You can play with the weights. Let's say, for example, I care more about the liquidity. I can come here and set the liquidity to 50%, and I can keep the delta since discovery for the price at 10. And what's going to happen? Let me see here. You see here the liquidity became more important, which impacted the delta since discovery. If I reset this again to 10%, you will see a totally different result because both columns have equal weights. See it? Totally different, huh? Very good. So yeah, you can actually combine these advanced sorting with the filters. So the system is fully compatible. You can come, play with the liquidity, for example, trim it, and only do your advanced sorting on the result set. Let's say, for example, I want to see only liquidity greater than 20, and there you go. So now the sorting is much more powerful because you're only sorting on a set result, on a limited result. You're not sorting the entire table, which might contain hundreds of meme coins. So it's like you're trimming and then using a funnel, trimming and then using a funnel. And you can use all kinds of rules here. Like, for example, I want to see only the liquidity that is actually increasing. Activate the progressive mode, the grace period. There you go, folks. Click on apply changes. Wait until the results show up. There you go. And if I click here, I can even use the hits columns that we showed earlier, the last signal. Even though I don't use that, it doesn't really make sense to use the last signal because it's just a timer. But yeah, you get the point. So that's for the advanced sorting. Now, we went beyond this. For the most crucial metrics, we've created very special columns. And these columns are basically the delta since discovery. That's, you see the badge here, and it's actually in all of the 4 important metrics, for every single metric that is crucial. And then we have the net. So the net is the comparison of the increases against the decreases. And this can be for the liquidity value, for the price, for the FTV, or the market cap. So this 30 number shows you that the buyers are actually winning in comparison to the sellers. And this badged value here with a green badge, it's actually the streak. It's showing you that this coin, the next AI, excuse me, has been on an increasing roll for almost 31 or 32 moves. And this kind of data is very important for your trading strategy. If you click the gear icon, it's actually a software within a software. You have so much control over that data that you see on the table. First, we start with the streak aware sorting. So what it does here, you can tell the system that, let's say, I care more about the streaks. I don't care about the nets. I care more about the streaks. So if I slide the streak importance to 100%, now whenever I used any kind of sorting, be it basic sorting or the advanced sorting that we just showed you guys, the system knows that I should prioritize the streaks. Got it? Let me show you. So here, let me click apply changes. There you go. Seems this one is the one with the highest value, next AI. And it's the same thing. If I choose let me deactivate those two so you guys get a good grip of the concept. See it? So even the special columns, they are compatible, even though they contain lots of special logic within them, they are compatible with the advanced sorting feature. And then you have here certain threshold controls. Like, for example, I only want the system to count increases that are above 5%, or I only want the system to count decreases that are below 3%. Got it? So this is really something that you can play with if you want to remove the noise, because some of the movements can only be for 1%, 2%. Maybe you don't want to really see those numbers translated as net increases or decreases or streaks. You can play with that. The other thing is what we call the streak count threshold. So basically here, you're able as well to set a threshold to trigger a change in direction. So let's say, for example, our current meme coin, let me check here what we have, has 12 increases consecutively. If I come here and I put 2, this tells the system that, okay, if there is a decrease less than 2, do not change the direction. Keep the last increase value. But if it's more than 2 consecutive decreases, then you have the right to switch the direction into a negative or a decrease direction. The decrease direction, of course, is portrayed using a red badge. Let me switch the sorting here, and you will see it just like this. One moment. See it? Right there. Great. Then we have something that is amazing as well. It's called the staleness combating. We both know that meme coin trading is plagued with stale data. Data doesn't update. And in so many cases, the coin has been already rug pulled, but you still see a high price, or you still see a high liquidity. So to fix this issue, we decided to tackle it in a different way. You can tell the system, you can tell, for example, the data grid that I want you to reset the streak count or the net increase decrease to nulls, to 0 basically. If, not 0, null is different than 0, guys. Null means no numbers. It means no value at all. I want you to reset the values to null if the token hasn't increased in the last 30 seconds, or its streak has increased in the last 30 seconds. You can set, of course, the timer as you see fit, a minute, 2, it depends on you and your strategy. The other thing, let me just reset because I don't want to confuse you guys. One moment, please. The other thing that we have here is column-specific filters. In my case, I like to play with this a lot. I only want to see positive values, be it for the net or for the streaks. I don't want to see negative values. And you're good to choose here the direction. Maybe you have an insane strategy, I don't know. But in most cases, you would be only using the increase direction. I'm going to click apply changes, and you can see here, only 4 meme coins meet these conditions. The rest seems to be on the negative side, especially when it comes to these filters. You have so many operators here, as you can see, conditions that you can play with. It's all up to you. Great, that's for the net. Now let me deactivate the advanced sorting, and let's go to a very amazing feature. This feature is called tranching. The word is basically a French word, which means slicing. Now we all know that meme coins are not created equal. Some are minutes long, some are seconds long. So comparing them against each other beats the purpose of comparison. You can't compare a baby to an adult, right? Well, you can't compare a meme coin that's been with us for 50 seconds since its creation to a meme coin that is 10 minutes. Doesn't make sense. So we came up with the idea that you can actually give them the same starting point using something called the look back period. So once I activate tranching here, let me remove the filters because it seems there's filters already activated. I don't want any filters for now, and we will get to that part. So let's say I set this look back period to 40 seconds. Let's do 30 seconds. It's much, I would say, sensitive. And if I click here, which will toggle the view, as you can see, switch you to a different view, you can see that in the last 30 seconds, and this is of course a rolling window, which means we're always doing calculations every 100 milliseconds. This number will always keep updating. So we're taking the value 30 seconds ago, comparing it with the value of now. Now, of course, is moving, as you know, guys. Now is never constant. And we're giving you the percentage change. So if you can see here, this meme coin called Firo or Firo, I don't know how to pronounce that, has moved 14%, seems to be dropping. You can see this meme man is moving 9% positive, and so on. Now, this can be applied, of course, to all the four important metrics, and it integrates with the filtering and the advanced sorting, and we will see those examples soon. So as you can see here, you can use this to jump on the momentum. You can know exactly the health of a coin, how it's moving, and if it's actually profitable. This is a very, very important strategy. If you click on this tranching icon here, you will see that you have column specific controls, which means maybe I want this column to have a different look back period in comparison to the other columns that are tranching eligible. If I click save changes, I will see different values, of course. So it all depends on your strategy, but for the sake of demonstrating, let's unify the look back period. I don't want to switch that. I want to have same look back period. Now here comes another amazing feature. You see those LH, HH, HH, and so on? Those are actually indicators showing you how is the meme coin for that specific instrument doing. Is it at its highest high? We click, for example, on this one file, you will see that the value currently for the price, which we are checking its column, is at its highest high, which means it's doing well. Same thing for the liquidity. If we click here, this one high-low, as you can see, it has dropped. But if we click on the highest high, you will see that its liquidity is actually on its highest value in comparison to the history. And you get actually to filter those patterns. If I come here and I toggle on the historical pattern filter, I can choose. I only want to see the highest high, which makes sense. I don't want to be trading meme coins that are volatile or they have a ranging movement. Doesn't make sense. Same thing here. There you go. So now this meme coin is moving, and even the sentiment it tells me it's a strong buy with 162 holders, which is promising. Great, amazing. So far we've explained what is tranching, and now you're wondering, well, this is great. There's so much stuff here. But does it integrate fully with the rest of the system? Let's say, for example, I wanna filter the values of the tranching columns, like when we are in tranching view, for example. This is the brute view where you see the actual price. Let me remove the filter here because the filter is still activated. And this is the tranching. Well, I want to filter the tranching. I don't care about the brute value because, the brute value of price doesn't make sense. People care more about the change. Well, you can, of course. You don't even need to activate this. You can, for example, let me use a better example here, a much easier one. Remove the filters from here. You can actually use the brute value of the liquidity, as you can see here, for the advanced sorting, if you have an advanced sorting strategy. And you can come to the filter here, and I'm going to filter actually by the liquidity. So once the tranching is activated, you actually see this toggle here called use tranche data. Turn it on, and then you can set, like, I want to see only those tranched values above 10%, greater than 10%. You have so many, of course, conditions here you can play with. You can use other kinds of rules. I don't want to get back to the filtering topic. It took us a long time actually to work on this. So yeah, I'm very excited. If I click, there you go. Now I see only the liquidity or the tranching liquidity above 10%. And if I actually toggle on, I will see that it's 133%. That's the only one meeting this condition. And you can actually combine more. If I want to say, for the sake of showing you here, you can have the same column, this one using the tranche data, and this one not using the tranche data, which is using the brute value. I put here 20,000. Do you see how granular this level of control? It's amazing. Needless to say, you can use whatever operator you see fit. Either combine the conditions, make them mutual, or you can make them optional, which means one over the other. It's really up to you. Well, there isn't much here. Seems the last meme coin that met this condition has been rotated out. Yeah, so I'm just demonstrating. I don't want to overburden you guys. Let me just put here 5%. Yeah, there you go. This one barely is above the 10,000, and I think its tranching value has dropped. That's why it has vanished. But you guys get the point. I don't want to confuse you more than you are already confused. See, more than 5%. Again, it dropped. That's why it disappeared. Let me remove this. Clear all. I think you guys understand now the tranching and the advanced sorting. Well, let's move the sentiment. The sentiment is a very advanced kind of metric. It's a composites metric that takes so many values out of the data grid and does a special kind of calculation that tells you if this meme coin is worth moving on or no. If it's a strong buy, strong sell, if it's, for example, weak signal, and so on. And we have put the scatter plot for you that actually only shows you what you see on the table. So if you're applying filters, it's not going to show you the rest of the tokens that don't meet your conditions. So it's always trimmed at the result sets that you see based on what filtering you're using. And you can switch between meme coins. There you go. This one's a strong buy. I would go for it. And actually, we will do a live trading strategy. So yeah, and you're thinking, well, this is good, but here I see only numerical values. What if I want to sort by the actual recommendations? You could. You can just toggle on here, as you can see, the view mode, and you can actually sort but by whatever you see fit. And there you go. The strong buy always is on top. You can do you can make the direction either be as ascending or descending. It's something that you can think of. I don't want to influence your strategy in any possible way. Great, this is good so far. And you're thinking, well, can I, for example, have a table that only shows the strong buys? Yes, you can. We actually, again, just as we did with tranching and all the other granular control stuff that I showed you, you can actually do it. You can come here, for example, pick the market sentiment, and if you choose equal, you will see a tiny double arrow here. And you get to switch between numerical values and the enumerated values. So if I click strong buy, it's going to show me only the ones that have a strong buy. Same thing for the time-based tracking. If I come here, you can actually switch the direction. I can tell it, for example, to track either by the numerical value, an increase in numerical value, or I can tell it to track by how long it has been in this kind of recommendation. It has been strong buy for 30 seconds. It has been strong buy for 15 seconds. So yeah, you can tamper with these settings as you see fit. So far, so good, folks. Now, this is all good, perfect. Needless to say, I don't want to talk about wallet management, creation of multiple wallets or importing new wallet. This is pretty much basic, like most platforms, or all platforms actually do this. You can't have a decentralized exchange without allowing the user to create wallets or to import their wallets for trading. All right, now this tiny strategy icon here enables you to export all of this up to the column specific settings, which means this. If I change, for example, this column settings, it's gonna be part of this JSON code, the code that you can share with other users. If I come here, for example, activate the streak aware sorting or modify any kind of column setting and I click apply changes, if I go here, I'm gonna see it in the JSON code and it gets, of course, you can export it. You can basically take it and export it and give it to your friends, to whoever you think will benefit from it. You see here the weights. So yeah, you can basically just share this with whoever you think will find it useful. So maybe we should do a demonstration of that. Let me do it quickly. We don't have much time. We've been recording for almost 30 minutes otherwise. All right, so let me come here. I'm gonna pick those two. I'm gonna pick also the net. Let me change a little bit of the settings here. I only want to see strict filters above 0. Great, great, great. If I come here, I can actually copy this JSON code. There you go. I'm going to copy it. But let me, for the sake of an honest demonstration, I'm going to remove all the advanced sorting from here. I'm going to come here and I'm going to import. Once I click import, there you go. See, they have been activated with the settings. Remember, guys, the streak importance was 100 and the filters. See it? Doesn't miss a beat. Exports the entire thing for you. And you can share it with your friends. You can even sell the strategy. It's up to you. Don't do it, but yeah, you can. If you want to, you can. All right. Pretty much this is it. But let me show you something very interesting. Well, the table might get overwhelming, but with the advanced sorting, you will see a tiny icon here that enables you to actually focus your view. Let's say I have 5, well, I'm gonna say here, Let me pick the holders. See here, they're sparse. There's like, if you want to analyze them all at once, you could, of course, if you remove the trading panel. But yeah, it's kind of exhausting. What we came up with is if you click here, the system will move all those columns into the left side for you so you can easily analyze. And you don't need to actually use the advanced sorting to add columns to this focused view. You can just hover over any kind of metric and you will see a tiny flag. You see the tiny flag? If you click on it, it gets added to that focused area where you're able to analyze everything all at once. So yeah, the system is super robust, gives you a lot of control over your trading journey. Imagine how you can use these values for your trades.